Guys, welcome to the Tar Series 7. I'm reviewing this, which is the DC Multiverse Mcfarlane, the Batman Who Laughs. So really cool, really blessed to pick this up today. As you can see, we got a nice clear view in box, and this box is significantly larger than the other Multiverse figures. It's really about the same, I would say, in height, just it's a little bit longer, and that's so it can show you the Build a Batmobile piece, and it's also a little bit more expensive because of that. Now, this is part of a 3-part wave, which has 2 other characters, Nightwing and Batgirl, and you can build a Batmobile. I mean, to be honest, I get where they're going with it, and I like that, you know, it's not like a whole wave, but overall, I just think it's a little silly, and I'm probably not going to buy the whole thing just because I mainly really got this just because I like the Batman Who Laughs. I mean, it's a cool concept, but yeah, but it's got a nice clear view in box. I do like how it cuts over to show you this thing here. And something really interesting that I've noticed is, like, on the side it says the Batman Who Laughs. Now, usually, the box, like the side of the box, will say where the figures are from. Like, with Green Arrow, it said Green Arrow from Arrow, or from Batman 1000, it said Batman 1000, you know, it said that kind of thing. Well, this just says the Batman Who Laughs. So I think that's kind of interesting. I don't know, maybe that's, like, the story he's from. You know, usually they, like, will put the issue number or something. I don't know, I think it's a little weird, because, like I said, usually with the other ones, like, they'll put the issue and more specific stuff, but I don't know. It's got some nice artwork there, I like that, and it's got a bio. It does actually tell you from the Batman Who Laughs issue 1, so I guess maybe that's why they didn't put that. 2016, then it shows you the Build a Batmobile and the other characters in the waves. Yeah, let's open this up. So, here we have the Batman Who Laughs, and he's pretty much the worst idea, or not the worst idea, but like the worst thing that could ever happen. He's Joker and Batman combined, Bruce Wayne of Earth 22, who ended up getting kind of merged with the Joker in a way, not entirely like that, you know, it is a bit more complicated. That's just kind of like the brief version, but yeah, very cool, you know, definitely a lot of people really like this guy. He's more of a newer character, and you know, newer characters usually don't get like a huge kind of following because, you know, there's so many existing characters, so it's always cool when a new character shows up in comics and everyone kind of starts to like him. But yeah, he has a lot of detail on him, very, very cool, and you do get a base with him. That's what he's currently standing on. The way I have him positioned and with his shoes, I don't know if he'll stand too well without it at the moment, but yeah, you do get the trading card as well, which has the artwork from the back, and then you got this huge bio. I love the bios on these because, you know, one thing I always thought that Mattel did, they never really did that good of bios, even though bios really aren't that important because you probably know who it is already. I just think it's kind of cool. But yeah, in terms of detail, very good job on this one. So the mask visor thing with the bat ears is really cool. It's like rusted metal, and it just looks great. And then you got the spikes, and they look really creepy. And again, it looks like rusted metal. It looks really good. It looks very accurate to the comics, and you can actually see where the rust on the back of it starts. One thing I love about his suit is the stitching detail. Just like in the comics, he's got the stitching detail on his shoulders and around his neck. He just looks super creepy. Yeah, I really like that. I think that's pretty cool. And then he's also got a lot of crease and wrinkles, like on his sides here of his arms, where you'll notice where it looks like actual clothing, even though it's just plastic. I like that. Then he's got a lot of belt buckles, and you can really tell, like, in terms of his color scheme, he's definitely like more Batman, but in terms of his coat and everything, kind of looks more Joker. I like that little mixture between them. His teeth are so super creepy, like they are really, really creepy, and they've been painted very nicely. You can see the white there, and the red that comes around it, and then the red on his mouth looking, again, creepy, but yeah, and then he's got his arms there, which look pretty good. He's got his little blades in hand, which I'll show off in a second, and his fingers, it all looks pretty good. Like I said, the buckles are nice. I like how they go around, and I like how, too, the back of his jacket kind of looks like a cape a little bit, like a bat cape, with how it's got the little tears at the bottom, almost kind of like in the bat cape shape. I think that's pretty neat, and the lines on this, it just looks so good and so realistic. I think that's pretty neat. And then moving down on the boots, you have this kind of like stitching kind of cross there, like with the boot laces, and then you got little belt buckles. And then his feet, I think these are really cool. I like the little edges on the bottom of his shoes. I think that's pretty neat. So yeah, very cool, and like I said, he's got these little axe things, which are really creepy, but again, just like his visor, they have rust on them, so they look older. I like that. I like the little cut in them. I like the handle with the black on it, and then this one, again, it's got those little cuts where you can kind of see they're chipped, they're rusted. You know, they've been used before, which is the idea, so it definitely looks very detailed in that sense. Now, in terms of articulation, the Batman Who Laughs features the standard 22 points. I'm trying to get him and room here. He's got a 360 at the head. He can look up and down. It is a little bit hindered though because of his collar, but nonetheless pretty good. The arms rotate 360 and swing out. They're also on butterfly joints, so a lot of good movement. You got a 360 there. Double jointed elbows, which are nice. You have a 360 at the wrist, and they're on hinges. The torso does have some kind of articulation, but because of how like thin it all is, I'm afraid if I mess around too much with it, kind of like with how that jacket is, it'll break. But yeah, the legs come forwards, backwards, and outwards. You have a 360 at the thigh, I believe, and you have double jointed knees, and the feet move up and down and rotate side to side, and the toes also articulate. So pretty good in terms of articulation and detailing. Here's a comparison with the DC Multiverse Mcfarlane Action Comics, or not Action Comics, Detective Comics 1000 Batman. And as you can see, they're in a very good scale range. They look good together. They definitely look like the characters they're supposed to be from the comics. And I think the hype range around them is very good as well. And then here's a comparison with a Multiverse DC Comics Originals Joker. Now, as you can see, personally, I don't think the scale range on these are too bad. I know everyone's complaining about it. It is a little bit taller, but I don't think like it's super bad. But as you can see, they do kind of work together. Like obviously, you know, the Mcfarlane ones are taller because they're 7 inches. But in my opinion, I don't think the height range on some of the figures is really as bad as everyone is claiming it to be. Like I think some of them do look pretty bad, but I think some of the heights actually does work with some of the characters. And then here's a comparison with the Mcfarlane Green Arrow. And yeah, so overall I think this is a really cool version of Batman. You know, it's a new character. I don't think he's ever been done in action figure form before. I might be wrong there, but I don't think he's ever been done before. You know, it's definitely a character that has a huge fan base, and it's definitely the kind of character that, you know, Mattel, I think if they had put out, they definitely would have had better luck in the line. And that's one of the main things I like about Mcfarlane, because they're kind of trying to do the things that Mattel didn't do that a lot of fans wanted them to do. So yeah, overall I think this is really neat. And lastly, I do just want to show off this part to the Build a Batmobile. As you can see, it's pretty long. Comparing it to my 6-inch Gotham by Gaslight Batman here, it's almost taller than him, and actually might be. Let's compare with the Martian Manhunter. Yeah, it's about the height of a Mattel Multiverse figure, so it's pretty long. And I will say one thing I really like: the wheels do rotate, but they actually have rubber tires. It's like sometimes, you know, those Hot Wheel ones where you can kind of push them off on some of the neater ones, but yeah, it's like rubber that they put on there. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if I'm going to build this because I don't really need it, and I think it's unnecessary, but I do like the detail that they put on it with the rubber tires. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please rate, like, and subscribe.